another Leetcode problem today. So the problem name is find the maximum length of valid subsequence part 2. Let's go through the problem statement. You are given an integer array nums and an integer positive integer k. A subsequence sub of nums with length x is called valid if it satisfies this condition where the alternating sums are the same modded by k. Return the length of the longest valid subsequence of nums. So in order to understand this question, let's take this case. Okay, so also let's go through the constraints that are given, and if you'll notice, the constraints for k are very less. So what would be the solution to this problem? So let's try to see that sub I plus sub of I plus 1 mod k is equals to sub of, let's wrap this, sub of I plus 1 plus sub of I plus 2 right mod k. Now sub of I plus 1 mod k is common here, right? So what we can guess is something like this: sub of I mod k equals to sub of I plus 2 modded by k, right? So like this is like the previous problem of part 1 that we saw yesterday. So the solution can either have all the values that have the same mod values. So example, when we convert this to a residue array where we mod every value by a k, so the values would be something like this: 0, 1 and 1, right? So like either you can take all the subsequence of all the same residues, so 1 1 1 1 longest chain, right? Or you can take some alternating chain where you can say 1 2 1 alternating, right? So basically these are the only two solutions to this weird problem. But there's another thing that we can do. If we define dp of I j equals to max length of subsequence that ends at I with mod value of alternating sums as j, right? So we can define this, like let's loop through, because again if you notice, the length is also less. The array length, the input array length is also very less. So we can basically have two state variables and loop. What would be basically how how will we basically proceed? Uh, so for every index we'll have to find the indices to the left hand side which which we can basically append this ith index to and basically form the recurrence, right? So what will dp of ij will be? Let's define that recurrence, right? For this, suppose there's a mod value that we get, and we'll try to see all the variables, all the indices to the left hand side. So let mod be nums of I plus nums of j. By the way, j is less than I, less than or equals to, I guess, and we can say less than. We just have to form pairs, right? And this modded by k, let this be the mod value, right? Then we can define the equals to dp of ij equals to, like, if this mod, uh, like we have seen dp of j mod, right? There are two possibilities, like there's a chain length, right? There's a chain length that is ending at index j with mod value, right? Then if this was whatever this length is, we have found another place where we can append to this chain, right? Then either this can be dp of j mod plus 1, right? Obviously we'll keep on taking max, or we can just start forming the chain from here. So we get a length 2 chain from containing j and I indexes. So this these are the two possibilities, but you'll better understand once we write the code. So let's try to solve this problem. Let's code this approach up, right? So let result be 1, because we can always have a single element in the subsequence, right? So minimum length will be at least 1. So, and in the end we'll just return res. But before that, let dp equals to, let's import default dict, and let's say dp is default dict of int for underscore n range length of n, right? Length of nums, something like this, or we can say n equals to length of nums and keep on reusing that variable. So let's say that something like this. Now what we'll do is we'll loop over for I in range n, right? Then for j in range I, we try to see all the left indices. Then let's find out this mod value that we defined in our comment server. So this will be equals to nums of I plus nums of j modded by k, right? Then we can say if mod is present in dp of j, right? Obviously, so if this value is present, then we can say dp of I mod equals to max of dp of I mod, comma dp of j mod plus 1, right? Yeah, we are just appending, this is that case, and else we can just start a pair of subsequence basically, right, from considering j and I. So dp of I mod comma 2, something like that. And once we have done this, if else, we can just keep taking on the max that we have found, max length we have found in the dp array. So it will be something like max of res comma dp of I mod. Yeah, something like that. So let's try submitting or running this problem. As you can see, the sample test cases are all passing. So let's try submitting the solution now. As you can see, we have passed all the test cases. So thanks for watching.